when or if you come back, I'm not about to ask your ass why. You left because you ain't shit. I don't really need you.
Hey, beautiful. It's your girl, Rebecca Zahara.
It's your girl, Aime.
And welcome to Polly Bell. We are on episode 11.
11. 1-1.
You are so extra. And all right, so what are we talking about today?
Closure.
Yes, today we're talking about closure.
So, it's so crazy. Me and my boyfriend had this conversation the other day, and they fell into some shit, which we're gonna get into. But then ever since then, I've been seeing these memes or whatever about it. So there's this one in particular that I sent to my sister and was like, "Oh my god, we got to talk about this. We got to talk about this." So you want me to read it?
Yeah.
So it says, "My husband is throwing temper tantrums because I had dinner with my ex, who was leaving for prison for the remainder of his life and just wanted to apologize for any hurt he caused me and say goodbye. Kiki. Now, boy, bye. I needed that closure. Cry about it then." So,
What's the end?
oh, she said, "Boy, bye. I need closure. Cry about it then." That's what she said. Boy, 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 bye.
Okay, so it was like, nah.
Yeah, she was like, "Nah, nigga,
Okay.
I'm going and cry about it after."
Okay, so she was like, nah, I'm going to go see my ex, or nah, I'm good on that. I'm just trying to understand.
She said, "I'm going to see my ex. I needed that closure."
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So take it away.
So, disclosure. These are my thoughts, my opinions, my feelings, my point of view, my perspective, my business. Mine.
Period!
So, all you people in the back that may or may not agree with what the fuck I got to say, back up. Back up.
Before we continue, what exactly is the question here? What is the question here? Is the question after this post? Is the question, is closure needed? Is that the question?
Do you need closure? Is closure a thing? Is it a real thing? Is the concept of closure, is that real? Or is it like a circumstantial kind of situation? What the fuck is closure?
Okay.
Okay. So we're going to just start off with what is closure real fast. I'm actually going to go ahead just so that way I'm smart, you're smart, and we're all smart together.
Okay, so it has two definitions, but the one that we're talking about here is a sense of resolution or conclusion at the end of this says artistic work, but like at the end of something. There's also a feeling that an emotional or traumatic experience has been resolved.
Okay. So I don't need closure in the form of speaking to someone else and being able to move forward with myself. I was just fine whenever that ended because I knew that I was going to be just fine with or without you before we started. Then during the process of you, I already knew that I was going to be fine whether I lost you or not because I done lost other people. So this couldn't hurt too much more. Also, I have not had too many relationships, and I say them to be like platonic as well as sexual, intimate relationships, um, who ended off amazing, and where like I was confused as to where it ended off and concerned enough to go ahead and have a conversation about this after it ended. So I say all of that to say that closure is a fucking myth. Most people who I find need closure, their question is why. Their biggest question is, what did I do? And why don't you want to be around me anymore? And I think that sounds just sad. I think that sounds sad. Well, damn. Why I had to do something? I think that sounds like victimizations. And I think that's a lack of being able to um, acclimate to life and its rolling roller coasters. If our relationship ended and you left and you ghosted me and like I got your baby, I'm just gonna run it down for you. You left, you ghosted me, I got your baby, blah 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 blah. When or if you come back, I'm not about to ask your ass why. You left because you ain't shit. I don't really need you. I really don't need you to go ahead and further explain to me how much ain't shit you are. You feel me? I don't believe in shit like that. So go. Do your thing. Do your thing. When you get back here, because I am amazing, you know. So when you bring your ass back here because you realize there wasn't nothing better out there, and that goes for everybody, friends, intimate relationships, and sexual relationships. When you bring your ass back because you realize that aha was the queen's bees out here. I don't want it. I don't need it. I wasn't concerned about it. Because guess what I learned? When you left, I didn't die. And as long as when you leave, I don't die, I don't really, that's closure enough for me. Will my heart keep beating when you go?
Not will my heart keep beating. Okay, I think all right, so two things. I want to start with this. I want to start with personally. I personally do not need it. I personally do not believe that you require another person's presence in order to have closure, because if closure is a feeling, then you can create that feeling for yourself. Anyway, that aside, on the other hand, I do understand. I do understand and think it can be very mature when two people have left a relationship in whatever form that relationship is in. If the relationship was left and dealt with very like in a toxic manner, I don't think this is healthy. But I do think there is something to say when two people can come together in a mature fashion and articulate maybe some discrepancies that they had, and are able to communicate, and can leave not with a resolution as to why this relationship should continue, but like, okay, can leave with a level of understanding. And I think when those conversations occur, they can be constructive because people can point out things in you that maybe you didn't notice. And it took for this conversation to occur to maybe enlighten you to that. However, at the same time, when it comes to the people that talk about they need closure and they need to talk to the other person in order to move on. Um, I
You're
think
boo-boo.
I think that
I
people
think you're boo-boo.
I think people want that because the truth is there's still a longing for the other person, right? So they're the fact of the matter is they're trying to convince them on reasons why we need to get back together in a lot of the situations that we hear and we talk about. However, I honestly think it's a waste of time and you can be doing more productive things to heal yourself through that if need whatever the process is that you need to take to get over that. But the reality is before you got into this relationship, you were a person. Like when you were born and birthed into this earth, like it was just you. And so I think a lot of times the people that need that are the people that have gotten so lost in their relationship. And so finding themselves, they're trying to figure out like what that now looks like. But it doesn't take another person um, to let you know that we're not in this relationship or like I'm good off you for you to go through that journey.
I think people use the pretense of closure to keep something kept going.
Yeah.
I think people be like, "Oh no, I need closure. We need to talk about it. I need to understand what happened." Aki, or whatever. After that conversation, when the person says to you, "Oh, because you're blah blah blah, I'm blah blah blah, we whatever," when you walk away from it, a lot of times you still don't understand. You still don't relate. You still cannot see what the fuck they are talking about. So then essentially you're like dragging this on. I think people I think people say that so that way they can still stay in that place. That's like being stuck. We spoke about it in the last episode. Go ahead and check that out. Don't get stuck. Closure is for we broke up, but you owed me $1,000, and so we meeting up so you can send me my money, or you sending me a text message so I can send you the cash app. You can send me my money, or I got clothes at your house and you're about to put the box in front of my door, or you have the keys to my house. Or closure is separation of the shit, the ending of it. It is not for questions and understanding because it really doesn't necessarily matter. You're no longer going to be living your life with this person. So outside of the productive, oh well, I'm not even 100% sure because I honestly believe that what one person, and this is where me and my boyfriend disagree at, because I think that there is somebody out there who is capable of loving you exactly how you are. I think that there is literally somebody out there who will love you even as you are mean motherfucker. There is somebody out there who's going to love you that way. There's somebody who's going to love you while you're insecure and not sure of yourself. Love is around the corner, baby. So I think that if this thing that I do was an issue for you, that's fine. You couldn't handle it. I get it. there is someone out there who's just fine with me sucking my throat. You know what I'm about? That noise? Scratching your throat, right? Scratching your throat or something like that. But I'm saying, like, while I don't like you to smack your, to be, oh my God, I do not like that. My son, Andrew be like, are you a cow? While I don't like it, there is someone out there willing to hear this boy just all through their house and proud of it, okay? Proud that he is eating their food, chomping. So I don't really need that from you. I don't really need you to tell me what you disagree with who I am, because you don't want to be around me anyway. So how constructive is it?
I think also, like, we need to let go of the fact that everybody that we meet is not supposed to be in our life forever. Like, that's not even, it's not even realistic. And I feel like we learned that really early with our loss with mommy. That was like, that was like a real, like, oh shit. Although, like, we had experienced other things that showed us how quickly life moved and how quickly, like, shit can shift. I think that was really like, okay, like, people are very temporary. I think that was, for me anyway, I was like, all right, copy. But I think that when we get into relationships, intimately, friendships with people, it's like we forget that everything is seasonal. And like, whatever that season, and the season could be lifelong, right? The season could be like, I actually kind of liked you while I was going through this, but like, we've grown apart.
I think that a lot of people don't know their worth. And so they it's a lonely world. It's a lonely world. And um, to walk in it day by day by day with no one, it becomes very difficult. And um, I believe that humans are pack animals. Um, I believe that humans are not meant to uh, be alone indefinitely. Like we need each other to thrive. There are studies that show that when you are alone, when you're not raised around others, when you know what I mean, that things just are a little off. However you want to look at it, things just aren't the same. So I think that what happens is that there are energy suckers out there. There are people who see the submissive as as things to be controlled, people to be controlled. So what ends up happening is they end up controlling, moving you around as pawns and things like that. You end up staying because you're lonely. It's a lonely world out there. They're the only one paying you attention. Kind of like falls to like Stockholm syndrome, because at the end of the day, I'm like trying to, you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, we need each other. At the end of the day, no matter what, no matter how much we might want to be alone and stuff, no matter how much, it's a lonely motherfucking world out there. And when you're out there by yourself, you are not the same as if you had a little bit of social indoctrination.
I've been reading All About Love by Bell Hooks. And in the book, she mentions how we are socialized to prioritize intimate relationships over, let's say, our foundational relationships, like our friendships our friendships that are actually the first teachers of conflict resolution, and are the first teachers of love with boundaries. And that's so true, because we often see how in intimate relationships, when people get in intimate relationships, they'll pull away. You see, it's like a common thing. They'll kind of pull away socially from their friendships. And then when it comes to divorces, a lot of times, because of people prioritizing their intimate relationships and not having a balance with all their relationships, that when divorce occurs, it can be very lonely, it can lead to depression, etc., because they aren't fostering these other relationships. I think for me, what one thing I've realized, and that this is, I don't know where I'm going, but my friendships have always been very important to me, because of how we were raised, right? And so the fact that I had the ability to choose people that were nourishing for me, I was like, I'm gonna keep them. Like, I'm gonna keep them around. And obviously, if the relationship is not evolving, I'm good to like release it and let it go if it no longer serves me, and that's on a mutual level. But I found that in certain intimate relationships that I was in, they would look at how I valued my friendships. And that's not to say I don't value my intimate relationships as well, but they would look at how I valued that and how I balance my friendships and my family, my relationship, and kind of look at as if you should be prioritizing me more. And it's not that I wasn't prioritizing them or that I was prioritizing them less, but they didn't understand that value that I had.
I understand. So I've been in the trap before where I stopped being a good friend or stopped showing up as a friend because I got into some relationship or whatever, and the guy that I was with didn't really want me to be around whatever. And so then I ended up, at first I felt like I was, first I was rebelling, and then to like be in the relationship and to keep the relationship, at some point I stopped rebelling and I kind of backed up off my friend. Um, in those times, like you feel, I know I felt bad, at least for me, I felt bad that this is what I was doing. And then, of course, there was that red flag that let me like be like, probably shouldn't have people telling you like who you can hang out with and stuff or whatever. But because once again, humans are pack animals. Um, we want comfort. We want to feel acknowledged. We want love. We want sexual relations, kids, just overall support. We find ourselves in situations that we probably shouldn't stay in, be in, ever have touched and been around. But these were the people that were offering the love, or these are the people that you could see that were offering the love. Because sometimes there are people offering love, but you can't really see them offering the love. So, or it's not the kind of love you think you want. I'm gonna just leave that one there because I know there's been plenty of times where I thought I needed a certain kind of love and stuff, and it was not what I needed, and I really needed that lame ass love over there. But I didn't know no better to know that that's really not lame love. That's stable. That's logical. That's nourishing, that's valuable, that is supportive, it's encouraging, it makes sense. But instead, I was used to the toxic love and the constant yelling and the drama of it, that I didn't know that it shouldn't be this way. I thought that that was normal. I remember I was watching some show and the girl was like, they asked her like if she believed that domestic violence was just a natural part of relationships. And while she said no, because she knew that that was the correct answer, she did not truly believe no, because she like took a lie detector test or something like that, and it said she was lying. But that's because like inherently, while she knows that it's not. It inherently, she does not know that. That is what she knows. That is what she's seen. That is the circle and the pattern of how she was raised, of how she was loved, of how she found love, and how love was received and returned. So while I hear you telling me no, it's hard to really understand that if every day I live a different reality. So I said all of that to say closure, if needed, if at the most you need to see this man, woman, friend, non binary, non gender related, I don't know this person. Okay? If at the core you need to see this person, if it is for the real purpose of closure, your intent should not be going in to figure out what you did wrong and why that person no longer wants to be in your company. If those two questions are involved in what your closure requires, then you're just dragging it on. And you're doing it to yourself. And when your feelings get hurt, it's your fault.
I also want to say, just because you want closure, like the reality is no one owes you an explanation as to why they no longer want to be a part of your life.
Amen.
And like, well, that high key, like, it's kind of like, damn, trash. I invested this time. But like, the reality is, like, all of our relationships are seasonal. Like, at the end of the day, no one owes you shit, and you don't owe nobody shit either. Like, when it comes down to it, while it would be nice if things went our way, that's just not how things go. And so, um, closure shouldn't be something that's like, if I don't have closure, I can't move on. That's not realistic.
Your moving on should not have the contingency of someone. At no shape or form, any point in time, should you moving on have anything to do with anybody else besides yourself. If you are thinking to yourself, I cannot move on until Mike, Billy, and Harry go ahead and let me know what the hell I did wrong, who the hell that I am, and all that extra shit, you need to get it together, because when you leave a job, they don't call you to ask you why you left. They just let your ass leave, because at the end of the day, we gonna go ahead and keep it. One monkey don't stop no show. I remember the first time somebody said that to me, and it was related to me and me not making a move on something, and it was and it the opportunity passing me, and I was like, I thought y'all was waiting on me, and it was like, oh no, 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 one monkey don't stop no show. we got shit to do, and I was like, because at the end of the day, they were gonna keep doing what they needed to do. I could stay in here if I wanted to, like I did, obviously, but I didn't stop the show. The show went on. The show was actually really bomb, if we're gonna be honest. It was a great event. I was so sad that I could not be a part of the show. But did I go and support anyway? Yes. Yes, I did. And did I try to get in on the next show? Yes. Yes, I did. And did I get in? Yes. Yes, I did. But guess what I did this time? I signed up and I came and I went and I made sure it happened. Because once again, one monkey wasn't about to stop the show. Okay? So, if your closure is contingent on someone else, you need to reevaluate. That's not closure. That's like dependency or something, codependency or something. I don't know. It's enabling or something. It's fucked up. It's what it is. It's fucked up. real, then you be thinking around, walking around here like ain't nobody told you. So let me be the one to tell you, so that way at least you can do this from the comfort of your own house and be like really having this self sex within the comfort of your house. Don't let nobody show you because they teaching you a lesson in the moment. All right, I'm just making sure. Did you hear me? Because that's when it really hurt. I'm gonna be honest with you right now. When it really, really hurt is when you are having to learn the lesson because you really fell on your ass. That's when you're like, ow! When what you could have did was read the book and learned that if you just take 2 steps more, you won't fall on your ass. It is a little bit more work, but you won't hurt. But you didn't read the book. You didn't want to listen. Now look at you. Explain your shit now. Closure. Closure. What is closure? What is closure?
You and T, girl, my eyebrow itch.
Oh, because when T was like, well, good luck finding it.
What was the disagreement exactly? That's what I'm asking. What was
that there is someone out there that I don't need closure, that I don't necessarily need, I guess, your constructive criticism. Like, I don't really need to go back and rehash the situation or whatever, because what wasn't good for you is good for someone else. And his response to me was, well, good luck finding that.
Wait, okay. So so good luck finding someone that will accept you as you are.
Yeah, that will accept all of it as it is, yeah.
But you essentially did when you got into the relationship. So how could there not be another one of you? And not to
Nigga,
say
did
that
you
that's what
leave?
I'm looking to attract into the next season, baby.
Did you leave? Where you went? Where you
He
went?
believes at the end of all relationships there should be a conversation for closure.
Not at the end of all relationships, but he does believe in closure. If me and T break up, we just broke up. Okay. And I love T.
Obviously, he's had experience. So what has he received from these conversations of closure that we don't
So
understanding? That's what I want to understand.
for him, I think, now I can't speak for him verbatim, but I think for him it was just a matter of hearing out someone else and seeing how he is perceived through someone else's eyes, you know, and how maybe some of his behaviors may be, seen and stuff like that or whatever.
So what I think he's saying in this is with the example of what I was saying before. Depending upon the terms in which you leave the relationship, I could understand how that can be constructive, but it's not required. That's what I think. I don't think it's required. I could see how it can be constructive, but I don't think it's something that's required.
I don't need it. Um, I'm also might not be in a great place to be receiving anything from anybody I don't want to be bothered with no more anyway. So if we're breaking up, I have been blessed. I've been blessed to not really have been broken up with. I've only been broken up with one time. And I I learned then I didn't need closure. And I loved him. I loved him. Like I really loved him. And I to this day I could honestly say that was like my first real love, being honest. So like my first, real heart love. And even when it all came out and all of it ended, blah 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 blah, it didn't make me feel no better. I didn't feel better. I knew what the situation was. I knew what everything was. I knew what part I played. I knew what part he played. I knew all of it. And I didn't feel no better. I didn't feel better. So I didn't essentially I didn't need it. We just prolonged the situation, and now in my head I'm like, I'm still thinking everything I was thinking. It didn't change nothing for me. Like, yeah. So essentially, I've been blessed to not have been broken up with. And anybody who I have been thinking of leaving out of my life or anything like that, I was thinking about this for months. It did not just happen yesterday. I been thought about it. So whenever the closure was whenever I decided way back then that I was no longer gonna be your friend. So that was my closure. Whenever what we're doing now is trying to figure out how to cut this friendship all the way out. That's where we're at now. Okay. I already had closure. I had closure from whenever you had did whatever you did, and I had was like thinking to myself, you have to let this bitch go. I had this conversation with myself. Why you gonna have to let her go? Because she did A, B, and whatever, and we just can't have friends like that. You're like, really? That's what you're gonna decide? You hear that? Closure. Closure. Right there. Now everything else that happens after this is just prolonging this. We're just prolonging the bullshit. Just prolonging it. So hurry up and get it out. Hurry up and tell this person you no longer want them to come over your house no more. Because at this point they're just dead weight and it's heavy. But carry yourself. So once again, I said all of that to say that if closure means that you need to know why or what you did wrong, I'm pretty sure those are the questions I said, then you that's not what you really need. What you really need is not closure. What you really need is therapy. And that's not a bad thing. Everybody needs therapy. I need therapy. I like therapy. I take therapy occasionally on and off throughout the year. You know, you got to do what you got to do depending on what your pockets will afford you. You feel me? With that being said, you need therapy because you having self-worth issues right now. It's not them, it's you. And it's looking kind of sad.
Therapy is good for us all.
Where she come from? Therapy is good for us all.
It is.
Therapy is a so I know in the Black community a lot of times. I know in the Caribbean community, um, they don't believe in counseling, therapy, and things of that nature. And when I was younger, I didn't really agree with it either. But then as an adult, I found out that it is just the most invaluable thing to just have somebody listen to you. That's all that therapy is. Sometimes people don't be having nobody to talk to or nothing. And you at least know that this person right here is invested in what you got to say.
Yeah.
At least that. If you ain't got nobody else to listen, don't nobody want nobody to listen to them?
And
If you're not going,
because they're listening, they're going to help you gain better tools to navigate through some of the difficulties that you might be experiencing as well.
this is a professional who. Also, another thing that people don't get is that you don't have to be yes, you get it with a therapist, they're professional, blah 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 blah. If this one don't vibe out with you, get another one. Get another one. And get another one. Because there is somebody out there who I believe in 2 sessions. I am a 2 session person. So I walk in the first session. It might not have went well because of me. I know me. You have to know yourself and stuff. And I really might have walked in here very close to the situation. And even though I'm open because I walked in here, I don't know you. I'm guarded. I'm just saying. Session 2, it's not nerves at this point. It's just our chemistry is not working out. And that's fine. I'm going to get another one. Because at the end of the day, I got work to do. I got work to do, and one monkey don't stop no show. There's a therapist out there who's just as ghetto as you are. There's a therapist out there who's just as ratchet as you are. There's a therapist out there who's just as dramatic as I am. I know, I found one. Okay? And they have good advice. And they can talk to you and get to you the way that you need it. There's a therapist out there who understands exactly what kind of introvert you are. They understand exactly why you're not able to speak up for yourself, or why you feel like you need to take care of someone else, or why you get sad at, these points of your life, or why you may need to choke the fuck out your kids. There's somebody out there for you. Do a little bit of work. That's the best self-care in the world, is to do work for yourself. Ain't no money in the world can pay you enough to goddamn do for self. So once again, fuck a closure.
That's down that. Like, he said it. He said it all.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
And so, if you took anything away, get some therapy. Okay, work on you for you, boo.
Work on you for you.
Until next time.
Until next time, thank you for joining us. Thank you for being here. Love, peace. Next time.
I was about to say, and so.
Oh, so.